Robert Louis Stevenson was a novelist, essayist, and poet from Scotland. Stevenson is most known for his novels Treasure Island, 1883, Kidnapped, 1886, and The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, 1886, as well as his poetry collection A Child's Garden of Verses, 1885. Stevenson was diagnosed with a lung illness at an early age. When he couldn't sleep, his nurse stayed up with him and told him ghost, monster, and pirate stories. He went to law school but never practiced. He instead traveled and published books about his adventures. Stevenson made a map of an imagined island to entertain his stepson one rainy summer day. Treasure Island, 1883, his first major adventure novel, was inspired by this, as well as the pirate stories he regularly told his stepson. He then wrote Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, 1885, in 3 days. Stevenson became wealthy and renowned as a result of his two works. Stevenson spent the remainder of his life traveling and seeking of a suitable environment to improve his health. He suffered from illness throughout his adult life and did much of his writings from his sickbed. Despite criticism in the early part of the 20th century, Stevenson is now one of the world's most translated authors. Ethics are my veiled mistress. I love them, but know not what they are. Since hate poisons the soul, don't cherish enmities or grudges. Avoid people who make you unhappy. Anyone can carry his burden, however heavy, until nightfall. Anyone can do his work, however hard, for one day. Anyone can live sweetly, patiently, lovingly, purely, until the sun goes down. And this is all that life really means. I know, I don't care to die either. But when whining mendeth nothing, wherefore whine? It is always a bad sign when the lower classes laugh. Their taste in humor is both poor and sinister. Bear up until you see you're gaining. The San Francisco Stock Exchange was the place that continuously pumped up the savings of the lower classes into the pockets of the millionaires. But a word once spoken, who can recapture it? The ideal story is that of two people who go into love step for step, with a fluttered consciousness, like a pair of children venturing together into a dark room. I never weary of great churches. It is my favorite kind of mountain scenery. Mankind was never so happily inspired as when it made a cathedral. Good and evil are so close as to be chained together in the soul. They say cowardice is infectious, but then argument is, on the other hand, a great emboldener. Perpetual devotion to what a man calls his business is only to be sustained by perpetual neglect of many other things. I am not afraid of the truth, if anyone could tell it me, but I am afraid of parts of it impertinently uttered. I believe in an ultimate decency of things. And he began to understand what a wild game we play in life. He began to understand that a thing once done cannot be undone nor. Extreme busyness, whether at school or college, kirk or market, is a symptom of deficient vitality. You can forgive people who do not follow you through a philosophical disquisition, but to find your wife laughing when you had tears in your eyes, or staring when you were in a fit of laughter, would go some way towards a dissolution of the marriage. The essence of love is kindness. I am told there are people who do not care for maps, and I find it hard to believe. Most of our pocket wisdom is conceived for the use of mediocre people to discourage them from ambitious attempts and generally console them in their mediocrity. Everyone who got where he is has had to begin where he was. What seems a kind of temporal death to people choked between walls and curtains is only a light and living slumber to the man who sleeps afield. I am in the habit of looking not so much to the nature of a gift as to the spirit in which it is offered. To be truly happy is a question of how we begin and not how we end, of what we want and not what we have. Chill, you can give without loving, but you can never love without giving. Every man is his own doctor of divinity in the last resort. We must go on because we can't turn back. To be wholly devoted to some intellectual exercise is to have succeeded in life. Life is not a matter of holding good cards, but of playing a poor hand well. It is not likely that posterity will fall in love with us, but not impossible that it may respect or sympathize, so a man would rather leave behind him the portrait of his spirit than a portrait of his face. I have seen wicked men and fools, a great many of both, and I believe they both get paid in the end, but the fools first. It is one thing to mortify curiosity, another to conquer it. Everyday life is a stimulating mixture of order and haphazardry. The sun rises and sets on schedule, but the wind bloweth where it listeth. There are no foreign lands. It is the traveler only who is foreign. As in all other places of resort, one type predominated: people in the prime of youth, with every show of intelligence and sensibility in their appearance, but with little promise of strength or the quality that makes success. Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant. When a torrent sweeps a man against a boulder, you must expect him to scream, and you need not be surprised if the scream is sometimes a theory. Marriage is a step so grave and decisive that it attracts light-headed, variable men by its very awfulness. Man is a creature who lives not upon bread alone, but primarily by catchwords. When we look into the long avenue of the future and see the good there is for each one of us to do, we realize, after all, what a beautiful thing it is to work and to live and to be happy. The man who has forgotten to be thankful has fallen asleep in life. To be overwise is to ossify, and the scruple-monger ends by standing stock still. This grove, that was now so peaceful, must then have rung with cries, I thought, and even with the thought, I could believe I heard it ringing still. All sorts of allowances are made for the illusions of youth, and none, or almost none, for the disenchantment of age.